Hi, welcome to today's book review podcast. My name is Anh, I'll be your host, and today we will take a look over The Overlook Hotel. Haha, see what I did there? In one of the most famous novels by Stephen King, The Shining. The Shining is a horror novel published in 1977 and written by American author Stephen King. Stephen King is an author of horror, supernatural fiction, sci-fi, to even crime and fantasy. He is considered to be the most successful horror author to have sold 350 million copies of his books, with various adaptations of them into films, TV series, miniseries, and comic books. Sometimes I would joke around and say King to be the equivalent of Nguyen Ngoc Ngan, a Vietnamese writer and show host, notoriously known for his horror stories. Now, back to the novel. The Shining tells the story revolving the life of Jack Torrance, a struggling writer and recovering alcoholic who accepts the position as the off-season caretaker of the historic Overlook Hotel, an isolated, haunted resort hotel in the Colorado Rockies. That sounds really bad because the hotel has had many incidents. Delbert Grady, who suffered from cabin fever, killed his family and himself. To most of us, this would be a big no-no, but it was the only job Jack could have taken. His family accompanies him on this job, including his wife Wendy and his 5-year-old son Danny Torrance, who possesses the Shining, an array of psychic abilities that allow Danny to see the hotel's horrific past. Soon after a winter storm leaves them snowbound, the supernatural forces inhabiting the hotel influence Jack's sanity, leaving his wife and son in incredible danger. Boo-hoo, by the sound of it, The Shining sure sounds like a scary horror novel, and maybe some of you guys would wonder, why would I recommend it to you? It was a great kind of scary, the scary thing in life, and not just some cliche, cheap type of scary, because in the end, it is not the ghosts that scare you the most. Allow me to quote, "Monsters are real, ghosts are too. They live inside of us, and sometimes they win." The spookiness and scary tales is actually backed by the development of the characters, despite having only 3 major characters with description of several other characters. In my opinion, the 1977 novel covers some of the problems in the daily modern life, the deep issue in society and in humanity. For example, the book mentions cabin fever. It's a slang term for the claustrophobic reaction that can occur when people are shut in together over long periods of time. The feeling of claustrophobia is externalized as dislike for the people you happen to be shut in with. Hey, isn't that a perfect description of how we feel staying at home for too long? Right now, as we are battling against the COVID-19 pandemic, most of us may have to stay at home all the time, and if we read the book, we can even somewhat relate to the cabin fever that has affected Jack's mentality. More than these concepts, The Shining teaches us about how important family is and how family love is always indestructible and can fight against any dark forces. Jack starts as a loving father to Danny. Jack teaches Danny about life. The world's a hard place, Danny. It don't care. It don't hate you and me, but it don't love us either. Terrible things happen in the world, and there are things no one can explain. Good people die in bad, painful ways and leave the folks that love them all alone. Sometimes it seems like it's the only bad people who stay healthy and prosper. The world don't love you, but your mama does, and so do I. At the hotel, we can see the constant battle between the good and evil in Jack's mind. Jack is suffered from alcoholism, lack of emotional control, anger, abusive behavior, and they are the real ghosts in the hotel. However, when Jack is manipulated by the hotel's energy, he still shows love to his son until the final moments in the book. I wouldn't spoil it for you guys, so find out in the ending. Those are the things I love the most about the book. The only thing that I don't like is that Stephen King is very descriptive. He likes to dig down on his character, and sometimes it may feel a bit unnecessary, but that is the only con for me. If you love and enjoy reading The Shining, you would want to take a look at other works following the same theme and atmosphere, such as Bags of Bones, Salem's Lot. The Shining was also followed by a sequel, Doctor Sleep, published in 2013, which was adapted into a film of the same name. And that is my review of The Shining. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and please check out The Shining. You won't be disappointed. 5 stars, 10 out of 10 from me. I'm out. And from